Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to HSMEI Los Angeles, our monthly webinar series. Today's program is called Growing Your Business in a Hybrid World. I'm Mitch Woolley, founder and CEO of eMarketing Associates, also president of HSMEI Los Angeles chapter. And I want to take a moment to introduce our board. We have Libby Zarahi, who's our VP of Programs and Education, Jennifer Pachedli, VP of Membership, David Barnett, who's our VP of Finance, Craig Cobonaire, who is VP of Social Media, Levon Miner, VP of Partnerships or Sponsorships, Vaughn Davis, VP of Hospitality Innovation, Danielle Shepard, who is VP of Student Affairs, and the one and only Sandra Martinez, who is our Managing Director. Today's MC and moderator is Libby Zarahi, who is Director of Sales and Marketing at Hotel Amarano. And I'm going to take a moment here to hand this off to you, Libby, and you can take care of the housekeeping and the rest of the program, okay?
Okay, thank you, Mitch. Just a few housekeeping announcements, which I know many of you are accustomed to, is to make sure you mute your audio unless you are speaking. Background noise. I actually have people mowing the lawn right next to my office right now, so I don't even know if you can hear it or not. But to mute yourself also dismisses that background noise, and we can have total focus on Michael. If you have questions, put them in the chat box and I'll monitor them. However, Michael has already graciously said that he'll accept questions as he presents, but we don't know what will occur during the presentation. So we will have a wrap up at the end of his presentation with any final Q&As. Again, a reminder that I've taken advantage of, and I encourage everybody else to, is the online education for HSMEI. The certifications offset your core experience and speak to the public of your investment in your career. We have the Certified Hospitality Revenue Management Executive, not quite brave enough to go into that one yet. Certified Hospitality Digital Marketeer, which I'm working on right now. The CHBA, Certified in Hospitality Business Acumen, which I think applies to all of us. And then Certified Revenue Management Analyst. And I know several people that have earned theirs. And it does take time. This isn't an overnight investment. It's a period of weeks, but I highly encourage everyone to visit the website. More information can be found about the cost and the time associated at www.hsmai.org. That's the global website. Thank you. We also have the digital web series that will start September 6th through October 11th. And then the Digital Sales Essential, September 20th through October 25th. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because we're short today with our start time. But again, that information can be garnered from the global website. HSMEI, the web series, August 17th through the 21st. Perfect time as we go into budget. These are essentials on the disciplines with revenue optimization. So you don't have to be a director of revenue management to benefit from these certifications. If anything, they will put you on par with the people whose core roles is managing this on a day-to-day basis. So again, the CRME is highly encouraged. Oh, wow, this is great. We want to take a few minutes to recognize the new members. Some of them may be on, some of them may be on their way. James Billing, who's the Director of Hotel Operations from Hotel Normandy. Welcome. Welcome, Michelle Bucks, Director of Sales Special Events from Live Nation. We're all familiar with Live Nation and we really appreciate your engagement with us. Asha Graddock, and I apologize if I didn't pronounce this right, Director of Revenue Management from Lowe's. Michael Keene, Corporate Director of Revenue Management from Poly Society Management, and Bradley Kinsey, Key Account Manager, LPS, Booking.com. So here we were just talking about revenue management. It's so great to see these people, these executives join and engage with us. Also continuing new membership is, this is very interesting, Susan Kutlu, Area Director of Revenue Management, Hotel Zeta, Zeppelin, Zalos, and Emblem. And if you don't know these hotels, you should investigate them because they're absolutely incredible. Megan Sinton, Marketing Manager for 10 Over Media. I'm not sure how to pronounce the next name. I don't want to be disrespectful. I'm sorry. It's Adu Nakapur Karist, Managing Director of East Sydney Hotels in Thailand. I think that's probably the furthest we're touching out to. And also Amber Vogler, who I know, Regional VP West for Luxury Hotel Global Sales Organization. ALHI is what most people know them as. And then we have Michael Castelloni, who is going to be our trainer for today. And I'd just like to share with everyone, I had the privilege and pleasure of speaking with him before today. And very infrequently do we get opportunities as individuals to engage with people that are so experienced. Michael brings 15 years of coaching and professional training with leadership development, but there's also another interesting aspect of his experience. Prior to establishing his own company, he was a professor and director at Loyola Marymount University, where his focus was leadership development. And I think that's amazing. He believes, and I think this will come across in his presentation, he believes that true professional leadership does not come as a matter of rank and tenure, but it's something that we have to invest in ourselves and be lifetime learners to continually sharpen our craft and accelerate our career paths. So I'm just so grateful. I'm so excited. My notebook pad's already open to take notes, but without further ado, I'd like to warmly welcome and invite Michael to begin his engagement today. Thank you so much.
Well, thanks, Libby, and welcome everyone. Thanks for working through the adversity to get here. As Libby said, have a pen in hand. You know, we're going to get some notes. We're going to get some good information. The way I love to run these sessions, I know it's a webinar, but let's turn our cameras on. Let's pretend like we're sitting around a round table together. I like to read the room. I'm going to be making this interactive. So we're going to do some activities. I'm going to be asking for some feedback. What I ask of you all is when you come off mute, that's your way of saying, hey, Mike, I've got something to say. So you come off mute, I'll call on you. You're never going to knock me off my horse. I've been training for over 15 years, so there's not a question I can't handle. Be professionally selfish. You're here for a reason. You're investing this hour this afternoon in yourself, in your business. So make it about you, ask good questions, and let's get it started. So my question to everybody, and you have two ways to answer this. You can put it in the chat if you're not able to talk, you're sitting somewhere where you don't have access to turning your mute off, or come off mute. I could grow my sales if only what? Fill in the blank. I like to make my session as practical as possible to the people in the room. And I have so many different situations in front of me. I want to be able to talk to what you're all going through. So Mitch and I had some good conversations. Libby and I had a conversation, have a general idea of some challenges they're facing, but you could grow your sales if only what? Fill in the blank. And as you get those in, I'm going to add a little bit, but I am looking for 7 responses before I move forward, is start to reflect of why does this challenge exist? So if you knew more about your client's thought process, that would be wonderful. If you knew more about the RFP, if you knew more about what they were going through, you knew more about them, it would be great and sales would be easier. Can I get an amen to that? If we knew more about them, it would be a much easier process. Well, what I find is many of our challenges look in the mirror, the literal camera that's looking back at you, that's where most of the challenges come from. Right? If we could get in front of more people, if we could have more conversations, we would have better sales. If we had better prospects, if we could ask the right question to the right people at the right time. What I see, it's a balance of the three terms you see on the screen. It's first and foremost attitude. So do you believe in what you're doing? Do you have the confidence behind it? Or are you crippled by limited beliefs? Are you doing what's necessary every day, week, and month to grow your business? This is 2022, and many people have relied on outbound marketing. They've relied on incoming sales versus going out and doing a balance of both. Yes, we love when we get a prospect to come to us. That's the best case scenario. But are they always the most qualified prospect, or are they just price shopping? So are you doing what's necessary every day, week, month to grow your business? And then finally, what's your technique? Do you sound and act like a 1980s used car salesperson? Are you trying to sell ice to Eskimo? Are you trying to convince someone? Or are you coming off as a valued consultant? Are you qualifying them for your time? Now, I know I'm talking to a group of people whose time is their number one commodity. You're getting pulled in a bunch of different directions. So are you qualifying them versus them qualifying you? Right? So let's start. We're going to talk a little bit about attitude, not so much about behaviors this afternoon, just for the sake of time, but we're going to jump into technique. Okay, we're going to talk about our message and how that attracts the right people, and more importantly, how we could ask better questions. So everyone get a pen in hand. I've got a little activity for you. I want you to write, what's one belief that gets in your way? So what gets in your way from getting in front of more people? Is it not picking up the phone? Is it not going to events? Is it not asking? Is it not asking for referrals? Right? If you knew this thought process, what's a limited belief? Is it not asking the good questions? Is it not asking bold questions? What gets in the way of growing your sales? And I am going to need a volunteer in a minute. So get ready for someone to come off mute. What we want to do is we want to take whatever on that left side of your chart, and we want to convert it to be empowering. There's not something that you could say to me that we can't shift to be empowering. So I'm going to ask for a volunteer to come off mute. And then, what's a limited belief that's getting in the way? Will someone come off mute? Or I can volunteer. Let's go with Libby. You and I were having a great conversation yesterday. Come on off mute. What's a limited belief that's getting in the way for you?
Well, I'm the one that wrote in the chat box identifying high prospects in order to even ask those questions that we just mentioned a few minutes ago. Okay,
so the belief being is not asking the question. So what's the limiting factor that's in your head that you're not asking the question?
I think it's more, am I even talking to the right person?
All right, great. So raise your hand. You can use your emoji if you've had that struggle. Am I talking to the right person? Why even waste my time here? Right? See a couple of hands going up. Limited belief. I see a couple. Thank you. So my judgment needs to be, if I have that limited belief, am I talking to the right person? My judgment is, I'm going to waste my time. My actions, do I even take the meeting? And if I do, I might ask some questions that in my technique might not seem condescending, but to their ears may be condescending. And I'm not really qualifying them. I'm not growing. I need a champion internally. And I may have missed opportunity here, resulting in, I get a stellar objection from them. They treat me like a gatekeeper, and they kind of keep me on the outside. Reaffirming that belief is I didn't talk to a decision maker. Okay, rhetorical question, but we've probably all felt that before. What I want to do is I want to shift that to be empowering. So I want to take that, am I talking to the right person, to be empowering is, I'm going to qualify everyone I talk to. I'm going to do my best to ask the right questions to the right people at the right time. My belief is I'm going to get as much information out of everyone I have and determine, does it make sense for me to spend more time with them? Therefore, impacting my judgment is I'm excited to talk to anybody. I'm excited to ask good questions. Because if they are the decision maker, then I'm coming off as a valued consultant, not a vendor. If they're not the decision maker, I'll find out information and be able to set the stage for the next steps. Reaffirming my empowering belief is that I'm excited to talk to everyone, get as much information out, and if I disqualify them, I'm going to get a referral. Sounds like this isn't the right fit for you. Is there someone in your world you recommend I connect with? I'll disqualify them, but then ask for a referral. On the flip side, I'm going to identify their decision process. Never ask someone, is this your decision? It's a condescending question. Ask them the question is, how does your organization typically make a decision like this? That's an empowering question. It gets them to the point where you're giving them the choice to articulate the process. Reaffirming that belief is you've got the right solution. So what I want to do is, for the sake of time, I normally do 2 or 3, but we'll stick with 1 today, is you want to take your limited beliefs, shift them to be empowering, But take 30 seconds right now and shift them to the other side. I want you to make that solid. I want you to put it on a Post-it note. I want you to put it on your computer screen in the morning. I've got a great message. I'm going to qualify the process. You reaffirm yourself with that negative belief, it cripples you over time. Because the reality is, most stalls and objections are from us with qualified buyers. Those who are looking for the absolute commodity-based low price leader, they're not qualified buyers. They're just bargain shoppers. If you have a qualified buyer in front of you, they have pain, they have responsibility, and they have decision authority, the number one stall and objection is because of their interaction with us. So what I want to do is just kind of showcase where this comes from. Is it typically comes from us. As I take you through this process, just at the end, give me a thumbs up or a hands up if you've felt this before, whether you buying something or in your business, where the prospect comes in pretty interested. The sales professional does a quick needs analysis. Maybe they came through the website and they act motivated. Yeah, I'm interested. How can we move forward? Send me a proposal. They're already into it. So we get excited and we can start getting moving, and we will rate to presentation. We go rate to solution, to prices, to how we can solve their problem. So what do? They steal from us. They're collecting information, and they're not being jerks. They're just taking information because that's what they're trained to do. Ask a question, get some answers. We then are trying to close. Does it make sense to move forward? And you've probably heard these before is, let me think about it. Let me run it by the board. Let me get back to you. Send me some information. We can connect later, an arbitrary later. Now what? Well, now they're getting those excuses. Now we're trying to handle those objections. And that's what so much time and energy goes into sales development, is handling these. But we just set the stage for this to happen, for them to disappear, them to think they have a solution, and for us to strap on our Nikes and chase them down in perpetuity. We're frustrated, they're educated, and whose needs are met at the end of this dance? They're ghosting. We're not getting work with them. Whose needs are met? Nobody's. Nobody's needs are met. They didn't get a solution, and we weren't able to help them. So they leave educated, but not their problem isn't solved, and we leave frustrated. So what ends up happening is, when this buyer is in control, is nobody's needs are met. Frustration is, and we're wasted time, and then those limited beliefs get in the way. So what we want to do is we want to shift that to be empowering. More importantly, we want to take control. And we take control in the following ways. Is it starts with our first message out to them. So I am going to need a volunteer for this one, someone to come off mute. David, I saw you earlier. Are you there with us? Can you come off mute?
Here.
All right, my friend. In a minute, I'm going to call on you. But right now, I'm going to have everybody do these reflection questions with me. So just get ready for me. I'm going to get you in about a minute and a half. Just wanted to make sure you were there before I called on you randomly. So everybody, who are your best clients right now? Who do you best serve? Where are they? What are they currently doing? Are they at conventions right now? Are they virtual? Are they in the office? Are they going to events like where we are today? You want to be where they're at. And what are their pain indicators? Are they frustrated with apps? Are they frustrated with not talking to someone? Are they frustrated with logistics? What are some of the things they're struggling with right now? Why would they want to have a conversation with you? Because I can promise you, if they're happy with who they're currently working with, they're not interested in a conversation unless you have a lower price. Is that fair? Right? And we don't want to just waste our time. And finally, what are their trigger events? So why would they How would I be able to reach out to them without being salesy? Do they have a convention every quarter, every year that I can get to? Do they have a gala? Do they have an anniversary? Do they host a breakfast every once in a while? Where can I connect with them regularly without just popping in? I'm not saying that you shouldn't just pop in when needed, but how can you reach out proactively with a good message? And that's what we're going to focus on. We're going to focus on what to say, and then we're going to finish with, once we get the conversation going, how can we have better questions internally so we don't get the think it overs? Sound like a plan? So David, I'm going to go to you. What kind of sales do you do, just so I have some context?
Sure. I'm the director of sales and marketing at the Hyatt in Westlake.
Wonderful. So what I'm going to do, and everyone's going to play along at home, is I'm going to take David through a series of questions. I'm going to scribe for you, David. So if you don't want to write down, just email me after this and I'll take a picture of what I'm creating so you don't have to. So that's the benefit of being the volunteer. But what are 3 features and benefits you provide at the Hyatt? What do you do?
We provide an upper upscale experience in a non kind of Los Angeles setting with easy access to freeways in a great, very safe location.
Okay, so you provide an upscale experience in LA without LA. Love it.
Right.
So I'm going to take that first feature and benefit. I'm going to put it at the top of my paper in red. I'm going to then put the next one in blue, green, black. These are the colors you're going to want. But top, middle, at the bottom if you're playing along at home. I'm going to get 3 out of David. Okay, so David, give me another feature and benefit, something else, that a solution you provide to your clients.
We've had consistent team throughout the pandemic, an experienced sales team. So we provide some consistency where there's not a lot of consistency right now.
Okay, so consistent team and experience. Love it. Give me a third.
What would be a third?
What's something you do for an organization who wanted to partner with you?
Do for what?
What would you do for a partner? Like someone who's coming to work with the Hyatt, they want something there. You've got the upscale experience. You've got the consistency in the team. What's one more thing why they would choose to go with you?
Yeah, we are very partner oriented. So, you know, it is not all about sales here. And kind of to your earlier point, you know, a lot of the ways we reach out now is just to check in and see how people are doing. We have that kind of shared experience. So it's really an empathetic approach to sales right now.
Love it. Love it. So I've got upper scale experience, consistent team, partner oriented, and I'm never going to use those words again if I'm you. So everyone who's looking at their red writing, don't ever say that again. Because let's be honest, think to the other hotels in your area. Aren't they saying the same thing? Aren't they saying they provide a great experience, that they're consistent, that they have the best customer service? Everyone's going to say the same thing. That's very feature and benefit oriented. So David, what I want to do is I want to start talking about who do we work with? So we talked about where they are, what they're doing. Let's start to paint the picture of why would someone seek out these 3 services. So I'm going to take you through with everyone playing along at home. I'm just going to have you fill in the blanks underneath. So first one, David, upper scale experience, and the in LA without the LA experience. Why would someone be seeking that out? So if you can visualize one of your partners or one of your clients prior to working with you, why were they seeking that out? What were they going through?
Well, I mean, there certainly is a I don't want to call it a stigma. I don't want to offend any of my partners in Los Angeles proper, but you know, there's an unsheltered population, you know, south of us, and there's congestion, and you know, with COVID, people often are seeking more of an outdoor, fresh air type of environment, and that's what we provide.
So those seeking an outdoor, fresh.
Just more of an open air, less urban, more suburban, I guess.
All right. So seeking an outdoor, fresh, urban feel.
Yeah.
Okay. Why are they seeking that out?
Because it provides a better experience for their attendees.
All right. Do they currently not have, and again, we're not going to offend anybody on this call. Are they not currently having a good experience with what they're currently doing? Or they haven't done this before?
Yeah, I think it's you know, it's a new experience to come up this far in LA. And it is a different experience. It's more of a retreat-like experience up here. And
Okay, excellent. Yeah. Love it. David, why would someone want a consistent team? What are they currently going through with their experience that they don't have a consistent team? Like, why would that be important to them?
Well, I mean, many hotels lost their entire teams, including their leadership, as have many of the clients. So a lot of what's going on right now is just trying to reconnect the dots with your clients and the hotels and see who's there, who's not there. And, you know, it's an opportunity to both keep and lose business, right? Because you have people on the other side that may have no loyalty to this hotel per se. And it's easy to let clients find another hotel if someone's going to be great on engaging them, and vice versa. It's a great opportunity to get new clients and gain new loyalty where maybe prior the door was shut.
Those are all good points, but that's not why someone's looking for a consistent team. All right, if I'm looking for a consistent team, there's a reason behind it.
They want predictable service.
Okay, maybe they're looking for a predictable service. They're looking for maybe confidence in the fact that they know, David, that you're going to be able to fulfill what they're looking for. Is that fair to say?
Sure.
So they're looking for a confidence that in this unstable market, that you're going to have a team to fulfill. I like that. Same idea. So I got looking to get back to business with confidence, going to have the best experience. Partner oriented. Why would someone want a partner oriented approach? They're not your current client right now, so I don't want you to think of your current clients. I want you to think about before they are. Maybe they're going from hotel to hotel. Maybe they haven't done anything like this before. Why would they want a partner experience? What would be the value to them? Think from their eyes for a minute.
Well, you want to make it as easy as possible for people to book with you, and the best way to do that is to have an advocate for you on the hotel side that's going to make their job easier. It's going to provide some flexibility for them in terms of the risk in signing agreements and understanding there's flexibility there, and an opportunity, you know, for them to look good to their superiors, knowing we're going to, you know, take on their needs and anticipate those needs for them.
Okay. Next thing, people buy emotionally, they justify intellectually. Okay. So what I said earlier, the red comments, this is what my paper looks like now. So I'm just kind of filling in the blanks with David. What emotion would someone have who's seeking this outdoor fresh experience, this new experience? Are they excited? Are they angry? Are they frustrated? Are they annoyed? What type of emotion do they have prior to working with you?
Yeah, there may be some exasperation on their part with previous experiences. There might be some aspirational emotions with doing something different and trying something new, kind of everything in between.
So I'm going to give you the option to choose. I'll pick it when I feel it, when I read it. But I put frustrated and excited. Depends how we read this line.
Right.
All right. Next one. Those who are looking to get back to business with confidence. What emotion did they have walking around prior to sitting down with you?
What emotions did they have prior to working with me? Is that what?
So if I'm looking to get back to business with confidence, I'm not sure if the organization that I'm going to work with can fulfill my event and suit my people. What emotion am I having?
There be maybe some nervousness, some, feelings of instability
Perfect.
on their
Excellent.
part.
Right? Remember, people buy emotionally, they justify intellectually. So I want to track those who are emotionally charged right now, and then I can take them to the next level intellectually. Last one, those who are looking for flexibility and new opportunities to think outside the box with me. What type of emotion is that? Is that like a nervous anxiousness, or is that an excited eagerness?
Well, ultimately, you'd want to turn in, if if it's not excitement, that's our job to turn it into excitement. But yeah, there could be some unease with change. People are always a little apprehensive with change.
Okay. All right. So maybe there's a little bit of uneasiness there.
Yeah.
And then finally, David, who's your best decision maker? Who do you like to sit down and have a conversation with, ideally in your world?
Somebody that's experienced and has the ability
Positionality
to.
wise.
What's that?
Positionality wise. Is it
Positionality wise?
Yeah.
Usually a director or vice president is going to be someone that I would interact with most to the most effect.
And again, you can change your title of who you want to work with. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you all a message that you want to hit record on your phone. I know Mitch is recording this anyways. I'm going to read through it. You can use this in your calls, in your emails, in your social media. You can use this message anywhere. But I'm just going to ask for a thumbs up. Yeah, this works. Thumbs down. No, it doesn't. And I know you all have a commonality amongst you all. So David did the hard work. Let me know if this works well for your organization. So I'm David, and I've been having a lot of conversations with VPs, and what they've been saying is they've been frustrated with the process of seeking outdoor, fresh, open air experiences and not being able to find the right ones. They're nervous about getting back to business and not able to have an organization that can fulfill their needs. They are excited about creating partnerships that have flexibility and new opportunities to think outside the box to service their needs. Do any of these resonate with you?
Yeah.
Give me a thumbs up if that works for you, thumbs down if it doesn't. And now let me break it down a little bit for you. Okay, if you liked what you heard, there's a reason behind it. I'm David, introduce yourself. And I've been having conversations with VPs. It shows confidence and competence. I'm talking to people like you without saying people like you. That's why I say use a positionality. And if you're talking to VPs, say VPs. You're talking to directors, say directors. You're talking to owners, say owners. Okay? And what they have been saying is, that shows I listen without saying just trust me. And what they've been saying is, it puts you as a valued consultant, not as a vendor. Vendors are app-based. Vendors are transactional. Valued consultants listen and adapt and problem solve. Pain point 1 with emotion, pain point 2 with emotion, pain point 3 with emotion. I like 3 because it paints a nice broad stroke. I've got 20 different pain indicators I got written down. We just did 3 today for the sake of time. So they're frustrated with pain point A. They're excited about pain point B. They're eager or nervous about pain point C. People make decisions, not businesses. People are emotional. And if they don't have any of those pain indicators, they're not a prospect for you. or you didn't hit the right one. And then we can continue to ask questions. Finally, do any of these resonate with you? You got to ask a question. So many times people then go into their pitch even more. Well, we're doing this and we're doing this and we're doing this. Stop. You know what you can do. They don't. Don't be like everybody else. So stop right there. Do any of these resonate with you? And no matter what they say, yeah, it's kind of, I don't know, maybe, well, tell me more about that. What were you looking at? What were you thinking? What are you doing right now? It gets you into a place where you can get them talking. You can't be empathetic if you're the only one talking. And that's the goal here, is to get your prospect talking. Okay? So, last thing I want to talk, and Mitch, how am I doing with time? Do I got another 7 minutes? 6 minutes? I do. So I want to finish today with a little bit of strategy is once you get them talking. So in that message can be used anywhere. So here's another strategy. David, when you sit down with your next prospect, your next client that you've been working with for a while, and they say, hey, David, how's it going? Don't say good. Say, everything's been going great. I've been talking to some directors, and what they've been saying is pain point A, pain point B, pain point C. I don't suppose anyone in your world is feeling the same thing. You can use it with people, and it doesn't come off salesy. It just comes off as, hey, you asked me how I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. And then ask, hey, I don't suppose any of that resonates with you in your world. I don't suppose you've heard anyone saying that. Okay. Last piece is, many times once the process gets started, we go into vendor mode. We go into sales mode. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a couple strategies to prevent yourself from selling and to keep yourself in sales mode. My goal is always 70-30. Listening 70%, speaking 30. So reflect on your last sales call. Did they talk for 70% of the time? If the answer is no, you want to start to implement this pendulum theory. And the idea behind it is I want to be left of the pendulum. I don't want to try and sell them. So it's like 8th grade physics. An object at motion stays in motion until an equal and opposite force acts upon it. Well, the same thing with sales. We tend to sell ourselves out of a situation. So when something's sold would be, hey, Wes, love what you're talking about the other day. Got to sit down and have a conversation. Hey, Sandra, Wes told me to connect with you. Would love to sit down and learn more about what you do. Those are real positive statements, right? So rather than jumping right into it, I'm going to ask a question. I'm going to be a little bit left on the pendulum. I'm going to say something like, hey, Wes, happy to talk. What did you want to talk about? What did you like about the website? What were you interested in? I'm going to ask a question about what made them so excited. If it's a referral based, it's, hey, Sandra, what did Wes say? Happy to have a conversation. But it keeps you on the point where you're asking questions, not telling them. Okay? I know a lot of you sit down with neutral people. They're looking for the best deal. They are looking, but they're currently talking to 2 or 3 other providers or other hotels. So they're in the market, but you're not their only focus. It might sound like, hey, David, can you send me some information? Hey, Libby, what's the best you can do for me? Hey, Wes, I'm talking to a couple of people. What makes you different? Right? I'm sure we've all heard those. I want to, rather than saying, oh, well, we do this, this, and this. We provide the best experience. We are consistent. We have a team. We're partner-oriented. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to go left on the pendulum. I'm going to simply ask, hey, ABC is a great company. Curious, why haven't you gone with them yet? I don't say this, but why are we having this conversation right now? If they had already made their decision, we wouldn't be, unless it's only because of price, and then they're not my prospect. I'm curious, ABC is a great company. Why haven't you gone with them? And whatever they say, tell me more about that. What else have you tried to do about that? Okay. If they say, we're looking for the best deal, I'm sure we hear that a lot. Well, what does the best deal look like to you? I work with a lot of different organizations. What were you hoping? And have them start defining. Can you hear things that you can solve? And get them going deeper into their problems. Because whatever the pain is they brought you, if you can't get why that exists, or more importantly, the personal and professional impact on the person you're talking to, you're a commodity. So we got to go multiple levels deep into this. And then negative. Negative is maybe if you're out prospecting, you're out having a conversation. They're like, Wes, get back to me in a couple days, or get back to me in a couple months. Caroline, we're already working with someone. We're good, right? They're not negative people. They're just not interested in moving forward at this point. I would simply say, in 6 months, are we getting started or are we moving forward? I'm not going to be scared of the no. And if they say, oh, we're just checking it, no problem. Wes, is this just a polite way of saying you're not interested? I don't want to reach out in 6 months and be a bother. Is this a kind of way of saying this isn't a priority? And if they say, no, it is, well, tell me more about that. Why? And then does 6 months make sense, or does 3 or 4 months make sense? If they're working with someone, congratulate them. Because as David was saying, people are looking for these partners. They want to have stability. They want to have creativity. So I'll ask that. Congratulations. What has ABC company been doing? I'd love to learn more. And then I finish with, I listen. I don't suppose they could do anything better. And if they say, well, we had a glitch here. Well, now I can ask a question. What happened with the glitch? How did you solve it? Was it a big deal? Is that something that you can see happen in the future? I'm not going to try and break people up that are very happy. That's going to be impossible. What I am going to be able to do is identify if there is shakiness, they just don't know who I am yet. So that effective filter is up. So the idea of what we're talking about today is first and foremost attitude. You got to believe in what you're doing. You got to love what you're doing. You got to come in that there is opportunity out there. We just got to go find it and get it. Number 2 is our message can't be salesy. So in this hybrid world, whether I'm talking to someone on Zoom, whether I'm sitting with someone in person, is I got to give them the opportunity to express that they have pain. Whether it's 2018 or 2022, people that make decisions, not businesses. So can we get to the pain? And if it makes sense, once we're in the conversation, we got to keep them talking. When they're talking and we're listening, we can identify pain indicators, and what they'll say at the end, even though you didn't tell them anything, you really understand my situation. What they really mean is, I was able to articulate everything that's going on, and I understand my situation. Now all you have to do is put together the fulfillment to see if it works. Or based on what they're saying, they want the world on a shoestring budget, and that can't happen. You can counsel them to another solution. The idea is to always be qualifying. Have you all heard the ABCs of sales? Always be closing. It's not true. It's ABQ. Always be qualifying. Always be looking for, are they worth the time? And do we have the right solution for them? You can't do that if you're talking. So with that being said, next steps, again, how I work, I do training. I do lots of training. We work with organizations more consistently. It's not boot camp. Hopefully you got some great ideas today, but what we want to do is we want to reinforce them, right? Connect with me on LinkedIn. You've got my name below, my email below. Happy to connect with you, stay connected. If in any way, shape, or form I can help, if there's someone in your organization or someone that you're working with that can value from this, is I do an open session once a month. I'd be more than happy to have you or anyone that you'd like attend. I'll put the link in the chat if you're interested in attending, or if you know someone that could attend, I ask that you pass it along. And I'll open it up to Q&A. I know I took a ton of time this morning, but any questions out there? Anything that I said struck a chord that you want to dive into a little bit more?
I loved it, Michael. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem,
I've
Libby.
got several post-it notes on my footer of my computer.
Say that again.
I've already got a couple post-it notes, you know, to change my language at the footing of my computer, to stop and really think about how I'm dialoguing with this person.
Yeah, again, we get caught into, we know our world so well. And then we also assume that they're coming to us with needs. But the real problem they bring us is never the real problem. It's always 2 or 3 levels deep. And we got to get fine-tuned at asking these questions so that we understand the emotional connection. Otherwise, it's just surface level. And if it's surface level, it's commodity-based. If it's commodity-based, it's price-based. And that's where we start getting pinched on margin. So can we get a connection? Awesome. Any other questions out there? Any other wonderings? Maybe a stall or objection you're struggling with out there in the field, and I'm happy to problem solve with you real quick before we run out of time today. You can put it in the chat or just come off mute.
Michael, I wanted to, if no one has anything, I wanted to comment on that pendulum theory. You know, I've been selling for a long time, and I have to tell you, that's the first time that someone has ever told me to dial it back. So, and what I had asked you in that earlier session was, it sounds like kind of like taking the sail away, where they kind of want to go forward to a certain point, and you're stepping back 2 steps back, and you're trying to basically figure out where exactly they are. And then when they kind of turn around and grab you and they pull you back up to where they want to be, then it's kind of like you can move forward with them. Is that?
Well, absolutely. And again, at the end of the day, this is rhetorical, you don't have to raise your hand, but how many of you have gotten to a point of the sales process where you thought they were that they were moving forward, and then they just ghosted and stopped? We've all done that. I don't want to get that far. Again, I don't want to be a gray cloud of thunderstorms, but I want to be proactive in making sure they're the right prospect. So asking good questions is the way to do that, and taking it away will start to identify as, oh, is this person a real contender? Are they just looking for a price that they can then go back to their current hotel and just say, hey, I could do this over there, pinch a couple points off, and then I'll stay. Are they real prospects, or are they pretenders? And by staying left of the pendulum, you get out of the version of free consulting. Vendors give free consulting, trusted advisors give valued advice. Win and help them make decisions. We don't give free solutions. Great question, great observation. Well, I know we only have a couple more minutes. Any other thoughts? I don't have to jump off right at noon. I know we started a couple minutes late, but happy to answer any other questions if anyone else has anything out there.
Anyone? Come on, ask these sales questions. You got an expert on the call.
No worries. Yeah, so I put something in the chat there, Michael, talking about the valued consultant versus not being a vendor. Really hits me hard. I think is really important in the sales process.
A little extra context to that is, do we ever get commission breath? Commission breath is when we get aggressive. We start going for the sale. We go for the yes. We start to pursue it because we need it, or because we're hoping that this was going to work. That trusted advisor, that valued consultant, they have clear emotions, and they're not getting emotionally involved into the process, that they can step aside and give those good feedbacks.
Yeah. No, that definitely makes a lot of sense. I just wanted to thank you for that information.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Sandra.
A long time ago, I also had the privilege of speaking to a Sandler representative, and I won a book. And recently I've gone back and read all of my books, and being a consultant and a relationship builder has really made a big difference in my business.
Which book was it? Can't Teach a Kid to Ride a Bike at a Seminar?
No, it was a brown book. Oh my gosh. I can go look at it. Let me go get it.
Okay. Probably the Sandler Rules. That was the brown book. But
Hey, I have a question actually. At what point in the conversation typically do you ask who is the decision maker, or do you have to negotiate that based on the timeline of how your conversations go?
So that's a complicated question. And the easy answer is, first of all, know your system. Like, how do you take someone through your sales process is more important than who you're talking to. So knowing where you would take them next is more important, because can they be the person that advocates that next step? So that's first and foremost. Number two, the way I literally ask it, Wes, is how does your organization make a decision like this? So after I've got pain, so pain is first. I want 3 to 5, like we were talking. Tell me more about that. Get down to the compelling reason to do business. And once I start to identify that, I'll start to identify what their budget is. And budget isn't number. It's what are they willing to commit from a human resource perspective? What are they willing to do from a resource perspective? What can they commit to? And obviously financially. Once I know that, Wes, I'm going to ask the question is, how does your organization typically make a decision like this? What have you done in the past? Now they're sharing. I'm seen as a value consultant because I'm guiding them through. So one of two things, they'll start to share with me how, or they'll say, well, we've never done this before. And then you can be like, well, typically it would be this person, that's what I've seen. What would you see as the next steps? And start to identify, is this person able to make this decision or not? Because if you say, hey, let's sit down. Oh, can you make the decision? I'm going to see, well, this guy's already trying to make a sale. He doesn't even want to listen to me. He just wants a sale. So I don't need to sit down with someone for an hour and a half. I could do a 15-minute quick call. So knowing my gates, I can determine, are they a decision maker? And if the decision maker is not there, I would advocate that they are in the next steps, or I don't meet. Okay?
Yeah, thank you.
You got it.
Hey, Michael, one of the things that I found useful, I don't know, I'd like to get your input on it. If you say, are you the decision maker, or who makes the decision, then you obviously you're going to alienate them and you could insult them. So I typically do is I'll say, besides yourself, who else is involved in the decision-making process? And that's an elegant way to basically have them say, well, it's actually not me. I'm doing the research for my boss. Now you know who the gatekeeper is. Then you can go back and, at some point invite the boss into the conversation.
Yeah, it's a good one. Go ahead, Sandra.
The book is Accountability the Sandler Way. And then I never got the second one that came after this.
The second book?
Yeah, the book that comes after this, because I know there was a set for this. So I need to look for that guy and do that.
You got it. Well, hey, it is 12:03. I will sit here and answer questions all morning until 12:30 if anyone has them. Anything else?
Nothing to me, Michael, but on behalf of the chapter, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for having me. I hope as soon as we hang up at 12:05, pick up the phone, you call 3 people. You call one person that you've never spoken to before, and you use the line. You call one person who you've been interested in having a conversation with, it just hasn't come to fruition yet, and you call a current client. You call those 3 people as soon as 12:05 hits, and you use what we worked on this morning. You ask them how they're doing, you ask them what's new in their world, and then when they ask you, it's your 3 pain points. I promise you're going to get another conversation. You do that every day for the next couple months. You're going to have so many conversations going on that all you're going to be doing is qualifying. Got to have consistency though. Happy selling, everybody.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Michael. We appreciate it. Thanks for coming, guys. Bye-bye.